Hello, so today I want to make a video about the way how to tell your parents that you're transgender, because I've received a message asking me for advice. So first of all, I want to say that it's very difficult to say in general how to come out to your parents, because I don't know your parents, I don't know their personalities, I don't know your personality, I don't know what are the relationships in your family, so it's very difficult to just say something in general. But I will talk about a bit about my own experience and what I think is the easiest way, what I think is a little bit more difficult, and stuff like that. So as I said, it cannot be me, it must be you who knows your parents' personalities. You know whether they are LGBT friendly or not, or whether they are completely against LGBT community and stuff like that. So if you know that they are LGBT friendly, or at least they have kind of neutral opinion on this, I think it depends on how close the relationship between you and them is, like how close to each other you are. Because I think that if you are not very close to each other, I think the best way is to just write a letter telling them what's going on. And you can use this method even if you're very close with them. It just depends on the personal preference, and if you are better in writing and you want to be sure that you you tell them everything you want to tell them, it's always better to use a letter. Also, it gives you more time, because they will read the letter and then you will see their reaction, and then you can think about the next step you're going to make. Because, you know, in the end of the day you will have to talk to them about it anyway, so it gives you a little bit more time. And it's after they read the letter, their behavior is more predictable, because you know their reaction, you know whether they are surprised, whether they are sad or angry. So in general, I would say that letter gives you time to prepare yourself for that, and also it's good when you're not very close to them and when you are not used to talk to them. Also, what helps is to not to tell them as I said, it depends on the relationships in your family, but I think that for a lot of people it's easier to tell just one parent, and to the one you think whose reaction will be better, and with the help of them you can tell to the other parent. So that's one possible way. If you decide to talk face to face, what can happen is that because of all those emotions on both sides, you might forget something important you want to tell them. Because, for example, I wrote a letter to my grandparents and to my father. I wrote it to my grandparents because we are very close to each other, but we have a nice relationship, but I knew that they are against LGBT community, so I wanted more time for me, and also more time for them, because I think that even for those parents or grandparents, it's easier for them when they have time to think about it before they have to talk to you. So I wrote him a letter. I also wrote a letter to my father, but there was a completely different situation because I didn't really care what he thinks. I just wanted him to be informed, and that's it. We don't have nice relationship and we don't talk to each other. So I just thought that it's a good idea to inform him what's going on before someone else tells him. So that was it. But I decided to to my mom, not to write a letter but tell her, and I have never regretted it. I had a letter prepared for her. Actually, it was an email, but then I just said to myself, no, I must talk to her in person, because we are very close to each other and we have very nice relationship, and we always talk about stuff. So I told her in person, and it was difficult, and I thought that I will not cry, but I cried a lot. Oh, I thought I would not cry, but I cried a lot, and it was very difficult. One of the most difficult times, or acts in my life, and I wouldn't like to go through it again. It was very emotional and, as I said, very difficult. Also, when I talked about it with my grandparents, it was also emotional, but they already got through their first emotions, and when I saw them, I could hear the tone of their voice and their faces, so I kind of knew what to expect, and I realized that they were actually quite fine. So that's basically it. Also, if you are used to talk about stuff in your family, like if you're used to just sit down and talk about problems and stuff like that, just tell your parents that you want to talk to them, sit down and tell him, but take it really slowly, because we've read a lot of stuff, and we have watched thousands and thousands of videos on YouTube, and we know exactly what the T means, what what female to male, male to female, transgender, and mastectomy and hysterectomy and top surgery and double incision and perineal mastectomy, and I don't know, but all these terms, transgender terms, we know them and we are used to use them, but they don't know anything. Most probably. Maybe they do. As I said, everyone is different. But just take it really slowly. Maybe you can start with telling them something from your past, like, do you remember when I was a child I used to play with cars instead of dolls and stuff like that, and that's basically all I can tell you. It's different for everyone, and I don't know, when I think about it, I'm happy that I've already done it, and that I don't have to do it again. But another question is what to do when your parents are completely unsupportive, and when they are telling you that this cannot be true and it's just a phase, or you're just something like that. I haven't experienced this, so I can't really help you. I would just try to provide them with as many information as possible, like make them to understand, and I would give them some papers, some studies. I would recommend them some videos and stuff like that, and if they still don't accept you for who you are, I think you should just continue being who you are, and they will eventually get used to it, or they will kick you out of the house. I don't know, it's very sad topic, kind of, like unsupportive parents, but because I don't have my personal experience, I can't really talk about it, or I can talk about it for hours, but it wouldn't help anything, you know. So some basic recommendations: take it slowly. Writing letter is always easier, but you have to know that you will still have to talk to them, so you can't avoid talking to them about this. Be who you are and give them some, some information, like not just your personal feelings, because they most probably don't know anything or almost anything about the transgender issue. So tell them some statistics, tell them that you're not the only one in this world, that there are thousands of people like you, that it's a medical diagnosis, that it cannot be treated without changing your sex, like physically. So that's all I can tell you. And if you have some tips for people who are about to come out to their parents, and if you have some experience with unsupportive parents, you can write it down into a comment, and maybe it can help someone. So yeah, bye guys.